If you're feeling overwhelmed about setting goals this year, take a deep breath and relax. In this video, you will learn a surprising new way to approach 2021 and your dreams and your goals and your plans. I'm so excited to share it with you because I feel like it's going to be a real game changer for those of us who struggle with setting new goals at the beginning of every year. This new way of moving forward will bring you both peace of mind and profound growth. I'm Kimberly and you are watching True Stature. This channel is all about shutting down limiting beliefs and inspiring personal growth, authenticity, and even joy. If this sounds like your kind of community, join us. We need women like you. Click the link below to subscribe and hit the bell to be notified each time a new video comes out. In my many years of being a wife, a mother of 5, an entrepreneur, a homemaker, working for somebody else, the ups and downs of life in general, I have learned a lot of lessons. And speaking of lessons, right now, life is teaching me a pretty impactful lesson. To begin, let's back it up a little and I'll tell you how my goal planning has looked these last couple of months. I've always been of the mindset that I need to set goals every January. So on the one hand, it's a time of a lot of hope, anticipation, and excitement of what can be next year. But on the other hand, I've also been one who struggles with setting goals and then keeping them. My missed goals become the basis of shame and feeling that I'm not enough. So I've recently realized that the new year is actually a time of great anxiety for me. Perhaps some of you can understand what I'm talking about. I have high hopes for the year ahead, yet I have doubts if I'll be able to follow through. And especially after a year like 2020, when we all felt like everything was out of our control. As the new year approached, I found myself getting more and more anxious as I thought about what I wanted to make happen in 2021, because I really wanted to get things under my control. Leave a comment below if you have also felt a little bit like I've got to get control of something in my life in 2021. So, multiple times over the month of December, I sat down at my laptop and began typing goals, creating templates, spreadsheets was a big one. I was working on that for a while. Setting up timelines, goals, reward systems, whatever it would take so that I could get a grip on my life. I've watched many videos on YouTube as well as Skillshare trying to learn just what the right way to approach my goals is going to be this year. And I've kind of been obsessing over this for a while now. But each time I actually sat down to write my goals, I began to either feel anxiety and overwhelm, or my mind would just check out and go blank, and I couldn't think of anything to write. And in all honesty, I began to doubt whether I was even cut out to set and keep goals, because my fears and anxieties were blocking any progress I was trying to make. Then a thought came to my mind that changed everything. And the more that I have dwelt upon that thought, the more peace I have felt about the coming year. It occurred to me that if I'm inspired to reach certain goals and dreams this year, then wouldn't it make sense that whoever inspired me to have those goals and dreams would be eager and even enthusiastic to help me get them done? This thought has awakened my mind and brought me great hope. I believe that my goals and dreams come from a God who knows me, and how best to create a miraculous life for me. Perhaps you believe that too, but if you don't, please don't put it out of your head. The possibility that maybe there is something bigger than you out there, a power greater than yourself, nature, the universe, God, whatever it is for you, something's got your back. And if that's the case, then wouldn't it make sense that whatever's given you this seed or desire to do something better with your life, don't you think it's possible that that source is eager to help you, wants to help you make those changes? The more I think about this concept, the more I sense in my heart that this actually must be the case. And I feel so strongly about this that I'm actually turning over an entire year of my life to conduct an experiment on this very theory. And you get to come along for the ride. 2020 will be a trial of my faith in a power greater than me. A year in which I approach my goals and my dreams with humility and faith that if I allow Him to, God will make my year a miraculous success. And although this is scary because I've always micromanaged all my goal setting process every year, something tells me that I can trust God to help me with the very particulars of my goals and dreams. This actually makes my tummy feel a little bit jittery, but my heart is feeling unafraid and maybe even a little audacious and bold. Imagine turning over your life's goals and dreams to the ultimate visionary. Maybe you're thinking, now that's an empowering concept to consider, but how would I actually go about doing this? We are so used to trying to do it all ourselves. I know I've had 50 years of doing that, and you've probably got a lot of years under your belt as well, trying to manage things your way. So because of that, it's going to take some developing of some new skills and habits. Turning over my goals to God does not mean that I get to relax and just take this year easy, but it does mean that the effort that I do put in is going to be very laser focused. So here's the 3 steps that I'm currently taking to make the shift from me managing my goals to God managing my goals. Number 1, I have made a list of the goals I hope to accomplish this year. I have carefully and prayerfully considered this list. I've edited it a few times, and in my heart it feels right. This is my master list, and I have made 2 copies. I hang one on my bedroom wall where I see it every day when I wake up, and the second one goes right into my daily planner. I will be reading over this list often. The second thing I'm doing, at the beginning of each month, I make some time to more deeply connect with God. There are many ways you could do this: prayer, meditation, going out in nature, just being quiet and listening. You could journal, you could disconnect from the world, shut off the TVs, the phones, and just ponder and think and listen. What works best for me is a combination of both fasting and prayer. It's not as intimidating as it sounds. I simply skip 2 meals on the first Sunday of every month, and during that time I pray with a purpose. Now, I don't mean I pray the entire time, but I always have a prayer in my heart during that time, and I'm making an effort to connect with something bigger than me. Fasting helps me let go of the more temporal things in my life, and I find that I can get a lot of clarity from this deeper spiritual connection. And on that day, when I'm in that headspace, I create a simple diagram of the upcoming month and what comes to mind of where I should focus my efforts and energies. I pay special attention to any thoughts that may come to me while I'm in this clear state of mind, and I include those thoughts on my diagram. It might look something like this. Okay, this is really quite a simple process, so I'm just going to show you. This is my January diagram for what it is that I'm going to be focusing on. As you can see at the top, I put an intention. My intention is to trust this process because this is a new way of approaching goals for me. Then, of course, I put January projects in the center, and I did put 5 different categories down that I felt would be needing my focus this month. And so that's quite simple, as you can see. And I then took each category and created 2, 3, or 4 different things that I knew I needed to do in that category that would help that category grow. So that's really all there is to it. It's nothing overwhelming, and I do this every month, and I hang it up on the wall, and of course I copy it first and stick another one into my daily planner. So I always know what it is that is being handled every month. Now, the third and final step has 2 parts to it, and they're very important. The first part is this. At the beginning of every day, I take some time undisturbed. Before the television goes on, before any computer or cell phone, first of all, I pray to seek a connection. And if you don't believe in prayer, then just meditate and connect to something bigger than you. I write a few things I'm grateful for, something I love about myself, and then I jump over to the side of the page that says to do. Here's where I really want to pay attention to what comes to my mind. And that's why I do this prayerfully. And I consider, what is it that needs to get done today? And I ask that question, what would you have me do today to accomplish those goals and dreams that we've figured out? I'll also ask the question, who needs my attention today? Who should I call? What connections do I need to make? I will write whatever comes to my mind. It may only be 3 things, but I'll write them down. Now, the second part of this step is extremely important. I need to be willing to work from that list and accomplish every task that I've written down Now, in the past, on a task list that I've created for myself, there's been many times when I would say, okay, it's the end of the day and I didn't get this one and this one and this one done, so I'll just jump them onto the next page. And yes, I've done that, but on this particular format that I'm doing now, I'm not giving myself that allowance. This is different. This list I've been given. I've asked for help with, and I've been given a list of things to tackle that day. When I prayed for his help, he gave it. Now it's my duty to follow through. If I put off things that I was inspired to add to the list, then I'm basically taking back the control and management of my goals, and that's the last thing I want to do. I know my track record with my own goals. The whole point is to turn my goals over to God, right? So just to clarify one thing, and that is that this list that we're making is not the entire list of everything you're going to get done in the day. You have many duties as a woman in this life. You've got perhaps children that need to be picked up, or you need to remember to take your vitamins, or you have a paper you have to write, or whatever it is. Those are all things that need to happen. But this particular list is a list that you turn to because you have asked for help specifically on goals that you have set. And you're trusting somebody bigger than you to help you and lead you. So that's it. Those are the 3 steps I'll be taking during this year-long experiment on this theory. Make a list of prayerfully considered goals and dreams. Connect with God regularly and meaningfully. And third, follow the steps he gives me. 3 things, that's it. Now, one last note to self. I like to take control back. It's what I'm used to. I often will find myself taking control of the situation again after I've already handed it off to somebody else. And I believe that that will be the biggest wall I come up against in this experiment. I may feel a sudden urge to make a spreadsheet or to list out a timeline that I want to accomplish all the goals and start setting up a reward system that I'm going to get this when I accomplish this. And this is when I have to remind myself that I already handed this over to God. And God doesn't need me to call a team meeting to make sure he knows what direction we're going. I'll be revisiting with you throughout the year to tell you how it's going, how from time to time I'll let you know what kind of changes are happening in my life because of this experiment that I'm doing. And I'm hoping that you're going to be seeing some positive changes coming on in my relationships, in my health and fitness, in my business, in many areas of my life. If you feel inspired to join me in this, I would love to have experiment buddies. You can do this too. I would love to know how it goes for you. And speaking of which, if you want to join a supportive community of women like you who want to keep reaching and growing and doing their best, subscribe now in the link below. You can also join us on Facebook and Instagram where we can communicate throughout the week. Whichever platform you end up on, remember that True Stature is an uplifting place where we can connect and help each other. Get involved. We need women like you. I'll see you next time, friends. Bye. If you enjoyed this video, I think you'll like these videos as well.